Hello guys, hi, this is Ganesh Nayak. I hope you guys are doing good. And today I'm back with one of my students interview. Okay, and today we have with us Anusha. She has cleared FRM Level 2 in her first attempt for this May 2022 exam. And this interview in which we're going to be talking about her experience, her journey of clearing the exam, what are the challenges she faced. And I'm sure this interview is going to be helpful for other students who are preparing onto changing their strategy and being motivated for the exam. With this, let us start with the interview. So first of all, Anusha, thank you very much for joining in and being a part of this community and the interview series that I generally do. So thank you very much for taking out time. I know you're busy, and
Thank you.
most importantly, before we start the conversation, uh, when did you clear your level one? Okay, what was your status when you cleared level one? What were you doing? You working, studying, and all of that. And also, when did you start your preparation for level two?
Okay, so I am a recent graduate. So I just graduated in May 2022. So
Hmm.
while I was preparing for my level one, obviously I was in my second year. So I
Hmm.
cleared my level one exam in July 2021 with first
Okay,
quartile in all the 4 subjects. So
perfect.
after that, I waited for the results, and post my results came, I started preparing for level two. That is around October 2021. I started preparing for level two with the
Okay,
agenda of giving the level two exam in May
May
2022.
itself. Yes,
Yeah.
perfect, perfect. So now, when you started the preparation, the way you must have seen the book, right? There are 6 books for FRM level two. What was your first thought with respect to all the books? Is it easy,
See,
difficult, all of that?
yeah, honestly, since I did not have any benchmark to compare it to, I just had level one to compare it to. So
Hmm.
level one was looking very simple in front of what I saw in level two, because in level two we have divided the whole risk domain into different risks, and in level one we just study the foundations. We study what is
Right.
FMP, what is valuation, what is all that stuff. So yes, if in terms of my strategy, I would say that first 3 months, which is October, November, and December, these 3 months were devoted towards learning the concepts. So my agenda was to complete 4 books till December. Uh, I was not
Did it
able to
happen?
complete 4 books. No, I completed three. I completed three of them, but it was still near to four. So I was like, okay, once I complete all the 4 books, I'm going to register for the exam. So I registered at the end of January when the early bird registration was about to end. So this is what I thought before registering, because I had to complete 4 books before registering so that I have that confidence that okay, fine, something can happen. I can clear the exam.
Okay,
That was
okay. Now, when you started from October till the January end, what was your time commitment on a daily basis?
Yeah, in the starting I used to give a lot of time. I used to give 5 to 6 hours every day, because at
Okay,
that time I thought that FRM part 2 is very extensive. It is curriculum wise very heavy, so it is more theoretical also compared to level 1. So
hmm.
you need time to understand the concepts and to learn the concepts. Okay, you need to read it again and again
Right,
so that they sit there in your mind and you're able to solve questions. Because question
right,
solving, the question banks also, they do not give you questions directly from the textbook. They
right.
also check your concepts. They also check the reason behind each and every line which is there in Schwezer. So that is why I devoted a lot of time in the initial months. Till
Hmm.
January, I would say I used to devote 5 to 6 hours. After that, it tapered a little bit. After that, my college also started. So that is
Okay,
why I used to give 3 to 4 hours on a daily basis when I had to
okay.
go to college. Yes.
And what was the base book that you were referring? Is it only Swetcher or you picked up some other book also?
No, no, just Schwezer. Just Schwezer.
Perfect, right? Now, the reason I asked you this question because a lot of people feel that level two is tough, so they should go and read Bionic Turtle. But the problem is that you don't have time. If there are 100 chapters, you have to read everything, revise it, everything. If you keep on shuffling between the books, you'll end up not completing the curriculum. That is what I generally
Right.
suggest also. Now, when so you started your question bank when? After January?
Okay. For question bank, I would say that I referred to 2 question banks, which was AP and BT. So how I divided the question bank practice was that after my first reading, I used to do AP. Okay, just as and when I did first reading, for example, I've decided that I'll do 2 chapters today. I read those chapters, I just revise
Did the
them,
basic question
mark
part,
the
right?
mark the important points, and then I'll do AP, analyst prep of that chapter. Okay,
Hmm.
this is how I did question bank number 1. Question bank number 2, which was BT, I
Hmm.
did Bionic Turtle after completing the whole syllabus.
Okay, the entire 6 books. Okay, perfect. And
Yes.
when this happened, I mean, this happened in primarily Feb.
This happened in March end. I completed my whole syllabus
Oh,
in March end. With the initial 4 books, I had revised them twice by then. By March
okay,
end, I revised the
okay.
initial books twice. But the rest 2 books which were left, which was I think credit risk was left and current issues was left. That's all. I completed them by the end of March because credit risk is very content heavy. That is why it
Mhm.
took a little bit
So
of
now
time.
when you so you were also continuously revising when you were going from Feb onwards, you were reading the new book and revising the old book also, right?
Yes.
And so solving the question bank also. That was the strategy. Now after March end, you're still left with revision of 2 book. So you did that in the month of April,
Yes.
completed
I
it
have
properly.
revised. Yeah, I revised the 2 books which were left, and then I revised the 4 books again. So the revision was going simultaneously. I do not think that there was even a single day where I did not revise what I read previously,
Okay.
because in level one also, while I was preparing for level one, at that time also I made sure that I would revise it again and again,
Hmm.
because you are meant to forget things.
That's
You're
correct.
meant to
That's
forget
correct.
things.
And especially when the
You
number
need
of
to
chapters
revise
is
it.
so huge, and
Exactly.
you'll
Hmm.
forget because the way you started, for example, you started with market risk, you'll definitely
Yeah.
go and forget about those topics. Now, when you were reading all the 6 books, which was the book that you felt is slightly tricky for you?
Credit risk.
Okay, okay. Only from the content perspective, or say you're not able to remember things.
I both, I would say. Credit
Okay,
risk was like if I read it properly, then yes, it is easy to understand. But I was not able to remember and recall while I was doing the questions. That was the
and that
problem
the
I
same
faced in
problem was
credit risk.
not with operations.
No, operational risk is very. I would say it is very general. Okay. Initially, by looking at the thickness of the book, I was a little
Right. A lot of people
skeptical
face
that
problem
would
in
I
that.
be.
A lot of people they first of all they feel that this is an easy book because it's almost theory, very high theory. So they ignore it. And when they go for the question bank, they start feeling the pinch primarily because they don't remember. And because I think around 25 to 26 chapters are there in that. And
26
that is why
chapters.
I asked you explicitly what was the status for operational risk.
Yeah, I
That
remember.
was that was proper. That was proper, right? And so only credit risk was a issue for you, slightly. Current
Slightly an
issues.
issue for you. Current issues, I think current issues was since we do not have any question bank to practice current issues. So I resorted to your question bank for current issues. It helped me a lot. But I think it was my own mistake that I did not paid much attention to current issues, because I
Mhm.
was more engrossed in the initial 5 books. I was like, okay, these 5 books are more important than the current issues. The reason why I scored quartile 4 in current issues, and others
We
are
saw that,
pretty, I
yes.
think, pretty good. Others are pretty
Right,
good.
right, right. Primarily, again, the major reason for it, it is very theoretical. So if you have read
Yeah.
it once, you have the confidence that, okay, it is not difficult. So it registered in your mind that it is not difficult. But the main thing is you forget. That is the main part. Now, with respect to market risk, okay, what was the status in the sense uh, when you were reading and solving, were you finding it tough?
No, market risk, I think, has been my uh, plus point, or has been my positive side, I would say. Because maybe the reason for this is that we started with market risk while you were teaching us. So the first book which is taught is
Uh,
always, it stays
it's
with you
okay, okay, okay,
till the end.
okay.
So market risk has never been an issue for me. For the question bank solving also, it has not been an issue ever, market risk. I
And
even find, yeah, market risk
the
very interesting.
okay, okay. And now, when was your college exam? Is it It was
My
around
college
April, right?
exam were in May.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So what was that time? What was that time period, and when was your exam date?
Okay. So I had four college exams. Two of them were before FRM and two of them were after FRM. So FRM was
Oh,
in between. It was very difficult. My FRM date was 23rd of May, and I had my college exam on 20th of May. I remember calling you, sir, on 18th, and I was crying,
I
sir,
know,
what
I
should I
know.
do? And you suggested me that, Anusha, don't study for FRM on 19, study for college only. One day prior, you study for college. After
Yes,
that, you pick up FRM and revise whatever you want to do.
because you
So,
also have to manage the college exams. Now, if you could not clear that, whatever job you're going to go, it might impact. So definitely you
exactly.
have to give some time to it. But TK, I mean, it was destined also to clear the exam, and the challenges that actually came in your way, I think so that also prompted you to prepare more efficiently or more properly in terms of the last
Right.
leg. And you also solved mock papers and all. That was also
Yes,
covered.
yes. I started solving mock papers in May.
What was
Okay.
the average score you were getting? Out of 80,
Average
how
score
many
I was
rights?
getting 60 plus. I was getting.
Okay, okay. Normally it doesn't
Yeah.
happen. Normally it is around 45 or 50, 55. That is the maximum
I
that
I
people
didn't I
reach.
remember I didn't score below 55. I scored 55 in one. I think that was Bionic Turtle mock paper. I do not remember it that
Hmm.
accurately, but I scored 55, and I think I called you on that. I told you that, sir, I'm scoring 55, and you were like, Anusha, that is not a bad score. Do not worry about it.
Normally it's 45. People don't go above 50. Very, very few people actually go above 50. The primary reason being they don't complete the portion. They don't get time to complete the portion. So that is why this issue comes into picture. But now when you went for the exam, okay, so what was the first hour like? You were able to, how many questions you were able to do? What was the difficulty level? Was it theory? Was it quantitative?
So my exam was a perfect blend of theory and numericals, I would say. I did not expect the bigger numericals to come, but
Hmm.
they came, and I was not
Okay.
able to solve two questions. Like two questions were pure fluke, I would say, um, because both of them came from credit risk, and they asked for the big numerical, big formula cramping, which I did not do. Like
Okay.
which I did not do. Yeah. So first hour was pretty good, I would say. The initial questions, by God grace, were easy to solve. Okay, so when I was solving the initial questions, I was gaining
Hmm.
that confidence that, okay, maybe I can go ahead and solve the other questions also. Plus, I
Okay.
would say one factor here which worked pretty well was the fact that I solved mock papers in a single sitting. I did not
Right.
divide. I did not divide 4 hours of sitting the mock exam into 1 hour and then a break and then a break like this. No, I did not do that. I did all the mock exams in one sitting. And by the end of, I remember when I was solving my last mock exam, which was
Hmm.
a day before the FRM exam, which ideally nobody should do, but I did it. That time I was able to solve the whole mock exam in less than 2 hours. So the speed was
Okay.
increasing. I could see that the speed was increasing, but accuracy, I was able to score 60 plus, but I was not able to go beyond 65. So that was the accuracy I was getting. Plus, one very bad thing about mock exams is that it does not have current issues. It does not cover
Many,
current
many, many
issues.
question bank doesn't have because it changes every year. So to
Yeah.
create a addition of those questions, it takes a lot of time that way. So a lot of people generally read current issues 2 time, 3 time to make themselves comfortable with the content. Now, so in the entire paper, what was the bifurcation of theory and what is the bifurcation of calculation?
Okay. So out of 80 questions, I think 15 to 20 were numerical, pure numerical,
Okay.
just plug and play numerical. You just add like do it and it's done. Out of the 20, I would say 7 to 8 were a mix of theory and numerical. Okay.
Okay.
So yes, it was a little tricky, but if you know the concept, you'll easily be able to crack it. It's not that
Okay.
difficult.
Perfect. Perfect.
But the rest 60 or 65 were pure theory.
And what was the
Pure
status in
theory.
that? I mean, difficulty level?
Out of 60, 65, I was able to solve the, I would say I was able to solve 50 very easily. But the
Easily
15,
means it was, uh, if you have read the question properly, once or
yes,
twice, you should be able to pick it up.
right,
Okay.
right.
Okay.
Like, but the rest, but the like leaving, I think, yeah, 15, the other 15 pure theoretical questions in that, I was able to eliminate, but again, I was confused between the last two choices, which
Right.
is very
That is
difficult to
normal.
eliminate.
That is
Very
normal.
close choices. Yeah.
But did you saw any question with respect to coming from two different books?
As in,
Credit market combined one question.
yeah, there was. I would say that one question which I remember was Basel. Okay, so they added Basel and FRTB from market risk together, and then they asked a
Hmm.
question. So, but that this kind of question is expected, because that FRTB and Basel, they go
It's
hand in hand.
connected to. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And overall, when you came out of the exam, what was your thought process that how how much I will be able to score?
Honestly, I I had no feelings at all after coming from the exam. My exam went moderate. I remember I told you also about that my exam went
Hmm.
moderate. Um, I had no expectations. Okay, but I knew one thing, that I did 55 plus questions with good confidence.
Hmm.
So I can score 50 plus. That is what
Right.
that this thought I had. But again, I was not confident of my result. I was not confident that I'll be able to clear it or not, because you never know what happens in an exam setting. You are very stressed
Hmm.
also, and then there are other people also just, you know, banging their calculators, and you're
Right.
stressed again that, yeah, why is that guy banging his calculator? I do not have numericals. What should I do? Like this. So this happens
But that is the
in an
beauty now
exam
because of
setting.
the computer-based exam. Everybody is getting a different question bank.
Yes,
So
everybody's getting it.
you cannot compare primarily, and there might be a situation you might get very easy. Somebody else might get a very difficult question bank. Now, when the result came in, what were the quartiles that you got?
Okay, so I got 121, 224.
121, 224. Again, so basically in one first and second quartile in all, primarily the last book current issues, you face some challenges, and fourth quartile. Now, when the result came in, what was the reaction of people around you? Primarily, how is now it helping you in your career?
Okay. So I am working in the risk domain from, I think, a month. I got the job as soon as I completed my graduation. But at that time, I had not got my level 2 result. So what my interview primarily was based on was the level 1 concepts.
Hmm.
So one thing I realized after giving so many interviews is that you need to have super strong concepts in level 1, because that those concepts are getting leveraged in level 2. If you are not clear about your level 1 concepts, you'll not be able to crack the interview, number 1, and you'll not be able
Right.
to understand the level 2 curriculum also.
Right. That's correct. That's correct.
Yeah.
But you got the job through your college?
No.
Okay, then briefly, I mean, how did you approach? What was the strategy?
So I was very active on LinkedIn since I think I would say since November 2021. So I used to DM a lot of people, specifically all the people who were in risk domain, because I was very clear that if I want a job, I want a job in a risk is in the risk domain. That is the
Okay.
reason I'm doing FRM. Okay, so that I used to DM a lot of people. Some responded, some did not, and I sat for a lot of interviews. But all the interviews, like they used to ask me when should they schedule your interview. So all the interviews were scheduled after I gave my level 2 exam. So I told them that I have an exam on 23rd of May. I would be sitting for interview after my exam. Before that, I do not want any sort of distraction or any sort of thing, any activity where I need to indulge my mind other than level 2.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
So primarily, so all the interviews that got scheduled was through LinkedIn only.
Yes. All of them.
Wow. Wow. And the audience should listen to this because a lot of people assume that after graduation you cannot get a job. First of all, that is cannot get a job into risk primarily. Okay, and LinkedIn, people don't get job to LinkedIn. It is only through Naukri. So these two myths, I think so. Somebody who's already been able to clear that thing, somebody has been able to get a job through that. So you can see a live example. Now, I have two questions for you. The final two questions. The first one, what is the basic difference that you found with respect to level one and level two?
Basic difference is that is the difference is only that in level 1 there is a part where you use your calculator, but in level
Hmm.
2 there's hardly any part where you use your calculator. I remember my calculator was packed and sitting in the almirah enjoying. I took out my calculator when I had to sit for the mock exam
Okay.
before my, only then I used to take my calculator out. Before that, in revision you do not need calculator. While studying the curriculum, you do not need calculator. There is some part in credit risk, I would say, and in market risk also, where you have to use your calculator. And there are,
Hmm.
there are certain set of numericals which are highly likely to be asked in the exam. And I think all that set of numericals were, I think you told us about the set of numericals which would
Yes.
be there in the exam for sure. And out of that, I would say majority of the numericals actually came. Okay. So yeah. So this was the Rayrock numerical, which is bound
Yes.
to come
It's
in
a
every
favorite.
exam.
It's a favorite
Fav-
of Garf. Yes. Hooley model. Then there is a
yes.
hazard rate. People ask I've heard every single student telling me the same thing. So it's a very favorite. So nobody should miss that actually. Those now, second question. If somebody is coming in asking you what are the top three tips you would give, how to prepare or basically clear FRM level two?
One most important tip I would say that do not skip revision. You should not skip revision at all, because if you skip revision, if you skip reading the curriculum twice or thrice, you will forget it. the
Hmm.
the curriculum is very heavy. It is humanly impossible to remember each and every line. So only one way in which you can remember every line of it, every concept of the book you're referring to, is to
Mhm.
revise it again and again. As I narrated that I invested my initial 4 months in learning the concepts. I was learning and revising simultaneously.
Okay.
So
Okay.
October 25 days were gone in market risk, as I remember. And then after market risk, I started with liquidity. Okay. So while I
Hmm.
was studying liquidity, I was revising market also
Hmm. Okay.
in the
Okay.
evening. Yeah. So you need to do that. Plus, second tip I would give is that while you're practicing questions, maintain an error log. I did that.
Whatever
Okay.
questions for each chapter you're getting wrong.
Yes. Just write the question number maybe, or write the concept which was wrong. Anything according to your convenience. This is
Hmm.
the second tip I would give. And third tip is that you need to keep calm. Okay.
That is a
You
very,
really,
very big factor. Very big
you
factor.
really need to keep calm. And just when you decide to sit for the exam, when you decide to start the preparation, just have one thought in your mind that I am bound to clear this exam. Nobody can
Yes.
stop me from clearing this
Visualization is
exam.
very important.
Very, very important. I used to visualize it every day that I have cleared FRM part 2. I have successfully cleared FRM part 2. That's
That's a very important factor because that prompts you to prepare. And but the
yes.
calmness part, I think so people who have gone through level one, the rigorousness of level one, they know that okay, I cannot panic. I will get some good questions. Ultimately, out of the 80 or 100 questions, whatever the exam that you're giving, you have to find the questions which you can solve and then go to
Yes.
the other questions primarily. That is what helps you to keep calm and give the exam properly. So wonderful, wonderful. I mean, Anusha, thank you very much for joining in. And this interview is going to be very helpful for students preparing for the coming level two exams, and they would be motivated definitely, and they would try to imbibe the strategies that you use when you started. How was your preparation? Which books, primarily first four books, apart from the credit risk and the current issues, you were able to complete fast. Then the revision part. and the solving part. This is going to be very important for them in terms of their preparation, strategy change, or the exam clearing. So thank you very much, Anusha, for taking out time, and I really appreciate this. And we'll have more such interviews with you. I know.
Sure,
So
sure.
perfect. Thank you very much, Anusha. Thank you.
Thank you.